streetpreacher, that's good. Hallelujah. All right.
Hey sir.
Yeah, how you
Can I
going?
have a word with you over here?
Yeah, sure. Just my sign.
Hi mate, how are you?
G'day, how you
I'm
going?
Constable Berwick Clerk.
Yes, how are you
NSW
going?
Police Station. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm
So,
good.
I understand that these gentlemen, their security. Do you understand that?
I understand the security.
Yeah, so they've given you just a simple request just to leave the sign over there. They do have bylaws here governing this area.
Yes.
You've refused to comply with them. You've also failed to stop to speak with the security guard there.
Okay.
Now, since then, they've asked you multiple times, and as I understand, because I have dealt with them in the past,
Right.
they've tried to be reasonable with you.
Okay. Tell me what the crime I've done,
I'm not
please.
going to tell you anything.
You're not?
So-
Well, okay, I've done nothing then.
Okay, you're going to have to leave the
No,
operation,
you're going to have to tell me what
So
I'm
you
doing
caused
wrong,
fear and
or I'm
alarm.
not going
So I'm Constable
anywhere.
Berwick Clerk from Surrey Police Station.
Yes.
Wishing
You've
you
already
move
told
on
me.
direction. You've become
No, there's no
argumentative.
move on direction going to happen
You've
here.
become argumentative with security.
And I'll become argumentative with you as well. But unless you can tell me, what I've done wrong.
Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in. In this video, well, I really don't know what category this person falls into. He's either a religious fruitcake who likes walking around Sydney 6 days out of the 7 spruiking on about some mythical person, or he's a sob-sit in training. Let me introduce you to Mike with the mic, and that's Mike as in MIC for short for microphone. He and his wife started doing this evangelistic shoving religion down your throat in 2023 around Sydney. And there's only one thing worse than going to an international tourist spot, because we're going to be at the Sydney Opera House today, which has many religions present at any one time, and having this person disrupt your day, and that's having a Jehovah's Witness knocking at your door at dinner time. Thank God for pandemics. Now, is he a religious nut? Maybe. I'll let you decide that one. But I can also see a spattering of sob-sit in this guy. Not by any of the major traditional markers of a sob-sit, but there are a number of times where he's leaning towards that end of the scale. Let me know what you think in the comments. And while you're down there in the comments, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Now, let's get on with the video and see what happens.
Yeah, I don't listen. This is Australia, right?
Yeah.
This we have the Constitution of Australia says I can preach religion anywhere in Australia. All right, that's all I'm doing, and I'm not even doing that. I'm just walking around looking at
Not with
that.
signage.
Why?
Because there's bylaws governing this place.
I'm not interested in bylaws. I'm
Okay,
interested in being
I am,
free.
and you're breaching them, okay?
Well, I'm not breaking any law.
You are. Bylaws,
It is
yes.
not
No,
a
you are,
local
yes.
law. It is not a
No, it is.
state
It is.
law.
It's
It is
bylaw.
not a national
Bylaw.
law.
This ground here is governed
Well,
by bylaws.
it might be. What are you going to do? You're going to arrest me?
I don't want to at this point. But
Well,
if
you
we
can
might
if you
go
like,
that
because
route,
on
I'm just asking
principle,
you to leave.
well, on principle, I'm not going to leave because I'm an Australian
I'm now
citizen
directing
and
you
I can
to
do it.
leave.
Don't be bullied.
I'm
not
directing
bullying
you.
anyone.
No, well, you can do it.
You are.
So,
You're all right. You're
Failing,
okay.
failing
Very
to
rude.
sir,
If I can't walk anywhere in Australia with this sign, there is a problem. If you want to take the authority, if you want to take the initiative to arrest, no, I'm not, because all you've said is you're going to arrest me for walking on this land with this sign. Is that what you've said?
So we have a bit to unpack here. First, let's start with section 116 of the Australian Constitution. Now, this prohibits the Commonwealth federal government from enacting laws that establish a religion, impose religious observances, or prohibit the free exercise of any religion. It also prohibits religious tests for any office or public trust under the Commonwealth. Essentially, it guarantees religious freedom by limiting the Parliament's power to legislate in matters of religion. Now let's break this down. Establishment of religion. The Commonwealth cannot make any law that sets up a state religion, like what happened in England with the Church of England. Religious observances. The Commonwealth cannot impose religious practices on individuals, like requiring attendance at specific religious services. Free exercise of religion. the Commonwealth cannot pass laws that would restrict or prevent people from practicing their chosen religion. Religious tests. The Commonwealth cannot require religious beliefs or practices as a condition for holding a government position. Now, nowhere in the Australian Constitution, either inferred or implied, does it say that I can preach religion anywhere in Australia. And the High Court of Australia, which, like SCOTUS, handles constitutional cases and is the highest court in the land, has upheld that Section 116 of the Australian Constitution is only applicable in limiting the powers of the Commonwealth Government when it comes to matters relating to religion. However, it does not prohibit states, that is, individual states, enacting laws regarding religious conduct within their jurisdictions. Let's take a look at the Sydney Opera House Trust bylaws. Now, these laws come under New South Wales legislation, and they were legislated to take effect from the 1st of September 2021, replacing previous bylaws of 2015. Now, Section 9 prohibited activities on Opera House premises. This is the sign that Mike is displaying whilst he is walking around the grounds of the Opera House. And this is why the Rangers and the police have stopped Mike for. Section 9 1G. Distribute or display by oral, visual, written, electronic or other means an advertisement, sign, bill, poster or other promotional material. But there is also another section that he could be breaching, and that is 9.1d, conduct or cause or assist in the conduct of a public demonstration. Now, by carrying a sign with a religious message, that could be interpreted as a form of public demonstration, especially if it's intended to attract attention or provoke discussion. So I've discussed Section 116 of the Australian Constitution. And no, Mike, you are not allowed to walk anywhere you like in Australia with your sign. It is subject to local laws and legislation, and it comes down to time, place and manner. I've discussed the Sydney Opera House Trust bylaws, and now New South Wales Police have not only asked Mike to leave, but they have also directed him to leave. Mike's refused. So therefore, under the Law Enforcement Powers and Responsibilities Act of 2002, Section 199, a person must not, without reasonable excuse, refuse or fail to comply with a direction given in accordance with this part. So, in short, Mike is subject to an on-the-spot fine of $220, or he could be arrested, and he then faces a maximum fine of $5,500 and or 12 months imprisonment when it goes to court. Let's get back into the video and see what happens next.
Is that what you've said?
Sorry?
Is that what you've said?
You can't have the sign.
I can't have the sign
Okay, so let's just start
because of some bylaw.
Come on, yep.
What about what I want to do?
So let's
What
start
about
walking.
being free?
Well, you can,
You are free.
This is Australia.
You're more than welcome
My name's
to do it.
James.
My name's Mike.
Mike, can you just walk with me and talk? Can we just
Of
talk?
course I can do all
Well,
that,
what-
but
Can you not film me, please?
this is on. This is
Oh, no, I
on.
know you are, but I prefer
This is for our
you are
protection.
allowed
You
to.
know
You are
that?
allowed to.
Yes, of
All
course
the
we're
other
allowed
cameras
to.
on side.
Of
I
course.
just don't want her to get in my face. The camera. That's
All right.
I'm happy
Nothing
for
to
you
be
to do what
afraid
you want
with.
to do, but you can't do it here. I've
Look.
been pretty decent, okay? They do have bylaws.
This is
here.
a silly bylaw. What harm? Tell me what
It's not,
harm
it's
this
not just
does.
you. It's
I know,
it's
but what
everyone.
harm
It
does it do?
doesn't-
What harm am I doing? Am I doing anything
So,
really
You
wrong?
know what was initially the problem was? I
Yeah.
tried to talk to you. When
No,
you came
but
on, so now you won't talk.
I won't
You
listen
keep-
because
Why won't you listen?
you're going round in circles
I'm not,
about me doing
because we
something
got-
wrong.
You wouldn't talk to me at stage one. You wouldn't talk to my colleague at stage one. It's not the sign as much as the issue.
And what's your name, sorry?
Sir? James.
James, I asked you which bylaw it was, what was the exact regulation, and what did it
Nine
mean?
sugar.
Yeah, but tell me what it means. That means nothing to me.
Displaying signs on site. Okay, like that.
What does it say, sorry?
Displaying signs on site. Promoting commercial.
I'm not.
Signs.
Yes, no commercial.
Promoting political views on site. So I wanted to stop and talk to you about this and
Yeah.
read it. You know what?
Yeah.
When you're moving around and you started arguing with me,
Yes.
that was the issue.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And you were
Well,
saying,
what-
no, I'm going to keep walking. I'm not talking to you. You kept
Well-
arguing, saying, you arrest me if you want. You're being argumentative in public, in front of all these people, in front of me. Okay? That's the issue here, sir. Mike, that's the issue.
Why am I being argumentative? Because I'm standing on a
Because you
principle.
wouldn't stop and talk.
I am standing on a principle, and I continue to do it, and I will continue to do it, because I believe it's wrong what you guys are doing. If I was really causing a listen, if I was really causing a problem here, if I was stirring people up, or I was speaking to groups, or I was doing something like that, sure, I just walked on the side, and you said, "Oh no, you can't be here." I can't be here because I've got a sign in my hand? Are you kidding me?
No, I stopped you to talk to you because of the sign.
Yes.
And you became extremely argumentative and refused
Because
to allow
you
me
couldn't
to
tell me what I was doing wrong. You said it's just a
You
bylaw.
didn't want to listen to it at the start, sir. That's the difference in opinions.
Did
here.
I ask you?
Yeah, you did.
Did you tell me
I've even
clearly?
told you.
Did you tell me clearly what the bylaw was? No.
And I even told you, you can Google online. You can go online and look at it. You're more than
No,
welcome
no,
to
you're
do
the
it.
one telling me to do it. I'm not just going to walk off because you say so. You've got to prove to me. You don't have authority over me.
I don't need authority over you, but when I'm
Yes, you
working
do.
on this site, the authority here is the security manager. To run
Well,
this.
So what's the bylaw? I'll ask you again. Explain it to me.
Do you want me to look it up with you?
Yeah, look it up. You look it up with me, and let's look at it, and tell me if I'm doing something that's so wrong, and then I'll leave. How about that?
You've got to have a rule. Not just say that.
I just think it's terrible that I can't walk on the site with this sign, right? There's plenty of people doing lots of wrong things, and you guys need to be busy looking after that, not bothering me.
Mom, people do trouble our country. You go after them.
Yep.
Can you read that?
No, I
Distribute
can't.
or display.
You read it for me. What's
Distribute
one
or
point at a
display
time?
by oral, visual, written, electronic, or other measures, an advertisement, sign, bill, poster, or other promotional
Can I
vehicle.
copy that?
Okay,
page?
so where do we qualify with that? We're not advertising.
Can I copy that page?
No, you can look it
We're
up
not
online,
advertising religion. How do you advertise religion?
Or a sign. It doesn't actually. It's just,
You- So what if I had it on my T-shirt? Would I have to take that off?
Man. No, it depends what was on your
offensive
shirt.
or not, mate.
Yeah,
Well, look, I'm
depends
going to
what's
get
on
this printed up on a T-shirt. I'm going to come back on here. Is that okay?
Well, how about you do this? Why don't you
No,
do
no,
that?
is that
Come and say
okay?
good day and ask for me, and we'll say we'll stop and have a chat. And why not just do it? You keep talking about constitution and
Yes,
decency
it's
and
called freedom.
okay. Why don't
Freedom.
you just stop rather than displaying the behaviour you did back then? Why don't you just stop and talk to me?
You know
You seem
why?
like a
I'll tell you
decent guy,
why.
Mike.
I'll tell you, I am a decent guy.
Yeah,
We're out on the street every single day except Sunday. We go to church.
yeah, okay.
We're out sharing Jesus. Over 14,000 people in 1 year have come forward, given their heart to Christ. That's what we're doing. We're not doing anything wrong. We don't go around causing any trouble with anybody. This is why I'm unreasonable, because when someone's
so you're saying
unreasonable,
you are unreasonable.
of course I'm unreasonable.
There you go.
No, but there you go.
You just
nothing.
said it on your camera in
Well,
front of
but
everyone.
so what? I'm not trying to hide anything. Of course I get unreasonable. I get intolerant of people who want to put silly rules on me for no reason.
Mike, as I've already said, Section 116 of the Constitution, it's not applicable to you. It's only applicable to the Commonwealth Government. State and local governments can put in place restrictions when it comes to religion. It's called time, place and manner. Finally, a subset, well, maybe a subset, a frauditor, maybe a frauditor, God knows what or who, has finally admitted the truth. He is unreasonable. I guess all I can say is repent and allow God to be your judge. Mike, the rules aren't written explicitly for you. They are written for everyone, so that everyone can enjoy the facilities on offer at the Sydney Opera House. I'm going to end the video, his part of the video here. And this continues to go round and round, and eventually he leaves, but not before making one more, well, threat, for want of a better term.
All right, we're going to go now.
Thanks, mate.
And listen,
Thanks for chatting.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to get a T-shirt made up with this on it, and I'm going to come back and say good day to you, truly, because I think it's just silly. The fact that this is made of core flute and this is made of material doesn't make any
I'll walk with
difference.
you, and we'll chat.
Well, I'll keep following Mike and see if he does return with his message printed on a shirt. Now, whilst it might not be a banner or a placard or a poster, it might still contravene section 9-1-D, conduct or cause to assist in the conduct of a public demonstration. Now, this isn't the first time that Mike has been to the Sydney Opera House. Here in this video from the 5th of October 2024, he's doing the same thing. And then again, on the 14th of October, he returns and invades the area, shoving religion at you. Now, I'm going to get a little bit critical of the three agencies involved: the Sydney Opera House Trust, Constant Security, and the New South Wales Police. By allowing Mike to continually evade punishment for breaching the bylaws, which are covered and approved under New South Wales legislation, you allow him to make a mockery of the entire system. Now, I know everyone hates paperwork and making reports, but this is your job, and failure of such a basic principle means that you have no record of previous infractions, and thus each time he does it, it's treated as an individual first occurrence. The three of you need to be recording each and every occurrence, because then you will be able to show a pattern of behaviour. But until you do that, Mike will continue to trample legislation and walk all over you. And Mike, remember, the Australian Constitution is not unfettered. It is subject to time, place and manner. Well, thanks for watching, and if you've made it all this way, please don't forget, all I ask is that you leave a like and a comment, and if you want to see more content, subscribe and turn on notifications.